Good Erev Shabbos, everyone. This week's Parsha is that of R'ei. Parshas R'ei begins with Moshe Rabbeinu addressing Klal Yisrael and saying, "Behold, Anochi noisi lefnechem hayom. I am giving to you today bracha, the path for blessing, uklola, and also to be aware about the path that leads to a cursed life." The Vilna Gaon asks a question: why does Moshe Rabbeinu speak in the present tense? I am giving you. He's referring to the Torah that Hashem has presented to us, and the Torah is the path, and it is the blueprint for a life of blessing, blessing in this world, blessing in the world to come for all eternity. And we received the Torah in Sinai, which at this point was 39 years earlier. Why does Moshe Rabbeinu say, Anochi noisein, I am giving to you today? He should have said, I gave to you, and then he should elaborate. Moshe Rabbeinu continues and he tells us, when we come to the land of Israel, the importance and how imperative it is that we remove and destroy and totally uproot all forms of idolatry, no matter where we find them. And that there's a biblical prohibition that we should serve God wherever we determine is appropriate, as the idolaters did. They would serve their idolatry wherever they deemed appropriate, but rather, Kiyam elamokim, rather the place that the Almighty has chosen from amongst all of our tribes, that he will place his name there, meaning his divine presence, l'shichnai sidrashu, we should seek out his divine presence, uvasa shoma, and we should go there. This, of course, is referring to the temple in Yerushalayim. And it says, v'havesem shoma, and we will bring there to the temple all of our offerings and all that has to be consumed in the temple grounds or in Yerushalayim before Hashem. So here the question is, that why does the verse seems to be using language that is totally unnecessary. We're not to bring our offerings wherever we decide, as the idolaters would do, but rather we shall go to the place that Hashem chooses. And it should say, and you will bring there your offerings. Why does it interrupt? Why does it say first that we should go to the place that Hashem chooses and seek out his divine presence and go there and bring there the offerings? What does that mean? We're seeking out his divine presence and we're going there. It would have been sufficient to say the place that Hashem chooses, bring your offerings, which means we're going there. What exactly is being conveyed over here? Another point is that later in the Parsha, Moshe Rabbeinu says that should there be a false prophet or a dreamer who presents a sign or a wonder, and even if it somehow comes true, this sign or wonder that they are presenting or predicting, but if their message is that we should go and worship the gods of others, engage in idolatry, we are not to listen to him whatsoever. Not at all. Not even give him the benefit of the doubt, not pay any attention. But rather it says, Acharei Hashem elekechem telechu, after the Lord your God you shall go. Oso sirayu, it is the Lord your God to whom we shall be in awe. We shall hear and observe his mitzvahs. We shall listen to his voice. We shall serve the one true God, and we shall cling to him. But we should not listen, lend an ear whatsoever, not even consider the words of those who suggest idolatry to have any basis. The Chavetz Chaim asks a question. The word acher and acharei both mean like after or something you're apart from. But achar means something that you are near, but you're not next to it. You're somewhat apart, but you're not near it. Somewhat apart, but you're close. Acharei, Rashi tells us, means something that you're far away from. It could be something that happens, you're far away from time after many, many years. Acharei means something that you're distant from. Acha means something that you're not next to, you're not close to. If that's the case, the Chavetz Chaim asks, why does it say, Achrei Hashem Elokeichem Tilechu? After how the Lord your God, who you are distant from, you shall follow. What does it mean we're distant from the Lord our God? It should say, Achrei Hashem Elokeichem Tilechu. After our God, who we are close to, we shall follow. Why does it say Acharei? The Chavetz Chaim says something of great importance, which is relevant to every human being, and especially today. He says the verse is talking about someone who is observant, he keeps the mitzvahs, but nevertheless, this is a person who feels that they are very distant from God. They feel that they are not fulfilling their purpose. They don't feel good about themselves. They're on the brink of depression. They have difficulty getting out of bed. They sleep late. They don't feel energized. They don't feel purposeful. And they feel as though life is almost hopeless. And such a person feels that despite the fact that, they're keeping mitzvahs, they feel very distant from Hashem. Maybe there are various transgressions that they have accumulated or whatever, but they don't feel good about themselves whatsoever. And the Torah is telling us that even if a person finds themselves in such a position of vulnerability and along comes someone else and is saying, here, I've got the message for you. The path you're on obviously is not working. I have something else. Listen to what I'm suggesting. And the person shares their dream, or the person says, I've got this prophecy, and that all we need to do is to follow a path of the idols and the gods of others and whatever. And the Torah tells us even a person who is Acharei Hashem Elokeichem, who feels that they are so distant from God and that maybe their future is hopeless. Nevertheless, the verse says, you feel distant? Telechu. Go. There is no such thing as distance between the Jew and his creator. Oh, but I feel as though I'm unworthy, and I feel as though the Almighty is not satisfied with me, and I feel myself that I'm disappointed in myself. I don't feel that I've achieved. I don't understand what my whole purpose for existence is. The Torah says, you know what you should do? Telechu, go. Get up and go. Don't lie around in self-pity. Go. You know that we're going and we're going to follow Hashem. Yeah, but I feel so distant. There's no such thing as distance. But rather we should think about God, and we should recognize we can cling to our Creator. How? Well, I don't have the feeling. I don't understand. We don't need to understand everything. We don't have to have the feeling. If a doctor tells us, here, I'm prescribing this medication, I don't know how it works. I don't know how I feel. Take it. And this is what the verse is telling us. Even when we feel so distant, nevertheless, we just have to get up and go and do what the Almighty is instructing us. And this is the meaning of the verse when it says that we should not emulate the nations of the world who they choose and they say, oh, this is a beautiful location. This is how we'll serve. This is how we feel. We feel that this is the proper service. This is what makes us feel complete. They determine how they shall serve their Creator. That is not the Jewish way, but rather we submit ourselves to the will of our Creator, and we go to that place that He chooses, not that we choose, what He chooses, even if we don't understand it. He chooses, he says, this is the mitzvah we should do. This is how Moshe taught us. This is the way we've been explaining and we've been fulfilling for thousands of years. Yeah, but why? I don't understand. It doesn't matter. This is the will of Hashem. It's not, Judaism is not to fulfill our will. It's to fulfill the will of our Creator. And therefore, the verse says, L'shichnai sidrashu, seek out his presence, uvasa shama, and you will go there. Meaning, not just the reference to the actual location in Jerusalem of the temple, but if a person feels as if they're somewhat lost, or if we feel that we're overwhelmed, or if circumstances feel like a cloud over our heads, the Torah says, do not feel distant. Do not feel abandoned. Never be hopeless, but rather seek out God. And if we do so sincerely, you will get there. Ubasa shama, you will get there. As we say in Ashrei, Karev Hashem l'chol karev, God is close to all who call upon him. But l'chol asher yikra'u v'emes, all those who call upon him sincerely. If we sincerely seek out Hashem, even if we feel distant, it matters not. We will find the Almighty, and he will be there for us, and we will attain our goals. And this, I would like to suggest, is what the verse is saying when Moshe Rabbeinu says, behold, I am giving you today the path for blessing. What do you mean you're giving? That path is Torah you already gave. Moshe Rabbeinu is telling us, don't focus on the past. Yes, I gave you the Torah, but a Jew should always be in the present with his mind on the future. Look at what today is. I am giving you today. The commentary says, what is Moshe saying today? Right? Behold, I'm giving you the path of blessing. What do you mean I'm giving you today? Focus on today. Don't worry. Don't concern yourselves with what happened yesterday, last year, the year before. Oh, I did this and I did that, and then God doesn't like me, and I know that I've done so many terrible things. That's the past. Moshe is saying, look what we have, what we are being given today. Focus on the present and chart the course for the future. What is that course? Seek out the divine presence. And if we do so sincerely, we'll get there. And even if we feel so distant, let's go. We're still going to go. But we've got thousands of miles to go. Fine. Fill up the car with gas and let's go. This is the perspective that a Jew has to have in our relationship with Hashem. And this is why perhaps the Parshas R'ei almost always precedes the month of Elul, the month in which we are aroused to prepare ourselves spiritually for the days of awe, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, when we are so close unto our Father in heaven. May the Almighty enable us to have the strength to leave in the past what's in the past and refocus on the magnificence of our relationship with our Creator. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay Jewish. Have a wonderful Shabbos.